Hello and welcome to Soul Love with Kimness. I am Kim van de Zande, your host, and I'm super excited to share another episode of Soul Love with you, where we share inspirational and empowering stories from the heart. We talk about the beauty and the shadows as both are part of the ascension journey, to remind you that you are powerful, you are magical, and to have trust in what you feel to be true deep within. Enjoy this next episode of Soul Love. Before we start the next Soul Love conversation, I want to invite you to check out my amazing book, Activating the Flower of Love, a sacred guide for manifesting your deepest desires and highest calling. This sacred book, filled with powerful tools and activations, will guide you to open your heart to the beauty and wisdom within you, empowering you to create the life you deeply desire from the foundation of love. You can find Activating the Flower of Love in all the major online and offline bookstores in ebook or paperback, or you can check it out through my website, kimness.nl, where you can also discover the different ways of working with me and the latest updates on new starting programs. Enjoy this next episode of Soul Love. Welcome everyone to a new episode of Soul Love, and today I have the honor and I feel excited to share the beautiful magic of my soul sister Eveline Zwikker. Welcome within this sacred space.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much for being able to share this space with you. And I really wanted to say that it was so magical meeting you yesterday, meeting you live. It's always amazing what happens when two soul sisters meet and are able to co-create together. So yes. I'm very grateful for that.
Me too. It is such a beauty that we on the world have these tools that we can share online and that we can meet people from all over the world. But it is where when we meet physically, there's a different dimension that opens up, or a different, and it's also just beautiful to give each other a hug. Or
yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, you can feel each other energetically instead of just having the screen. Of course, we feel each other when we're interacting, but live is always better.
It is, yeah. So I'm excited because yesterday we went to visit a beautiful place because we're starting a co-creation. We both are passionate and in our mission when we help people to really align to the message of their heart, and we're going to co-create a beautiful day, a physical day as well, where people can join us for a day of healing of the heart, of coming home. Maybe you want to share a little bit because it's so related also to your platform and to your teachings, and yeah, maybe you want to share a little bit about what you're passionate about and what you're excited to share with.
Yeah, well, we both came up with this. At least I felt that I wanted to co-create with you because, as you said, our missions are so aligned, and it is necessary that so many people start listening to their hearts, start connecting to the wisdom of their hearts, because that's where the truth is, not outside, not in their minds. That's all the illusion. That's all the old paradigm which is falling apart. And it's so necessary that we start listening to the heart, reconnecting to our truth, so that we can create this new earth from this place of love. And that's what I get passionate about, creating this new earth from love, from our true selves. I mean, just imagine how the world would look like if we all were playing the roles we were assigned to by our soul. It would be magic. It would be unicorns and rainbows and
yes.
Yeah, what we see sort of in the Disney movies, right?
Yes.
Pure harmony and peace, and that's the vision that gets me excited.
Yes, me too. Yeah, but it's but it's also so empowering to know that we have the wisdom within ourselves, but it's just asking us to go within deeper layers. And that is where the power of love comes in. Because if we really want to embrace ourselves, it is inviting us to love every part and to just say, yes, show me. Because sometimes that you also know, like in our journeys, it's not always the beauty that comes up. Sometimes it's also the shadow parts that want to be seen. And through then the alchemizing power of love, you can deepen, because I love that you're also passionate about that, but we are here on this earth having a mission, but through life, so many layers have been placed on top of that, layers that are not our true essence. And through coming home within ourselves, it awakens, but it's also inviting us to go through that. So on your own journey, how did love support you to awaken your mission and to now know what you're passionate about, and how did that evolve in your own journey?
Well, you mentioned, awakening isn't all just about the beauty of awakening, but there's also the shadow. Well, I've had my experience of the shadow, having to go through 2 divorces and a burnout, and really having some dark nights of the soul, which when you look in hindsight, were very good for me, because it's in those dark moments that we start to shift.
Yes.
And my journey was all about self-love. I didn't love myself. I projected love outside of myself to people, places, things. And I really had to learn to love myself. And it's an ongoing journey. It's not as if it's finished. It's like, okay, we're done. You always
We've now reached a point. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, I wish it would work that way, but it doesn't. But we always go a level deeper. And throughout what I've experienced is that I feel that I can deal with it better. I mean, we all have still those dark nights of the soul, but we need them so that we transform into our authentic selves. But once you've gone through these dark nights, I feel that you're more equipped to deal with what's in front of you, and you don't have to go into the drama anymore or go into the mind as much as in the beginning.
It is. And I think also, as you were sharing, for me, it also popped in, our missions become bigger.
Yes.
Where before it was, okay, discovering who we are. And now we're stepping into a place of being visible with being different than most in the collective. So we're sharing from this authentic space, but most of the time the authentic space is not what is the norm, because it is broken back to the essence of our being, the magical thing that it, and I think because these missions become, well, in a way we stand more in our mission, but it becomes bigger, and it's also inviting us to stretch more. So we can say it's a constant deepening layer, but it's also us in our light, and everyone listening as well. It's like we're stepping up in a bigger way. We're sharing our light in new ways. We're going to stand for our truth. And that is uncomfortable. So it is deepening, but it's also because we are choosing to expand, because we are choosing to come out for our truth, because love, it is not the sugarcoating things. Love, true love, is honesty in yourself to others from a loving space, but really accepting your boundaries and things. So as you were sharing, I saw like us standing and everyone listening in a bigger mission, but that means
getting out of your comfort zone.
Yes, and that is scary. Yeah, and that is And then we have the power of love to support us, but love from within. Love that is, I love what you shared, like not love that we get from the outside world, or like, oh, you're doing it good, or the confirmations we needed before. No, it's a confirmation within ourselves, with our connection with source, just within our being, because we're pioneering, and everyone tuning into this podcast as well. You're creating a new earth together. You're pioneering. So it means that all the old systems don't work. And we shared a beautiful podcast also about new earth entrepreneurship, or like, but we're creating from the new templates, where before these old templates might have worked, but now not anymore. And that's a whole different dimension that is opening up.
Yeah, it's rediscovering what works and what's in alignment. And it reminds me of what Jesus said. He said, be of the world, but be not in the world. Right. And that's been one of my challenges as well. I've tried to fit in the world, and I've assimilated myself and my old me. And I had a good job, and I had a house, and I had a husband, and I had the whole thing. But inside something was missing. And that was my soul that was calling out and saying, well, this doesn't make me happy.
Yeah. Yes.
And I had to go on a journey to realize what does make me happy and who I really am, and that I don't need to fit in. Because I think that's one of the problems that light workers have, is there's this old conditioning of, oh, I need to fit in.
Yes.
Because if I don't fit in, then I'll be rejected. Then I'll be alone, and all these old ideas of abandonment.
Yeah.
Also triggered through past lives.
Yes.
I mean, everything we experience now is what we've experienced in past lives, and we just bring that energy with us.
Yeah.
And so it took me a long time to accept myself as not being completely Dutch, being international, and being me.
Yes.
And that's fine. And I don't need anybody's approval.
Now that,
But it was a journey, exactly.
Yes.
And as you say, every time you start expanding within and expanding your mission, those old beliefs or conditioning come back, and it's like, oh no, we're not going to go down there again. And you know, now you have a choice. In the beginning, you don't think you have a choice. You think, okay, you know, this is what
it's just overcoming. Yeah,
exactly. And now, because I've become more conscious, I now know which path to follow, more or less. I mean, I take detours as well, and then I get
everyone does, and we learn and experience through it.
Exactly. And I've learned to be mild and compassionate with myself. I think that's important too. When we do take a detour, it's like, okay, that wasn't the right choice to make. Let's put myself back on the path without judgment.
Yeah.
Because we are our worst judges. Nobody else but us can take us down.
Yes. And that keeps on expelling. So but it truly is. I love the compassionate part as well, because in the end, we also, from our mind perspective, we can see it as a detour, but maybe it was necessary for us to learn a certain, I think it's also like laughing with the things we do, being able to just see it from the lightness. And that is not always easy. We all have our moments where it feels like really intense and real, but then it's coming back to our center. And I think that for me as well, as we grow and expand, we create more resilience, and then it doesn't matter what happens. You can just be with what comes on our path and grow and expand into it. And
you know, the mind or the ego sees it as a detour, but as you said, the soul can see it just as a path. So, oh, I need to learn a bit more about this so that I can align it with my bigger mission.
Yes.
Which you don't know at the moment.
No, right? Who knows the bigger,
because we think we know we're on the mission.
Yes.
And we've got these sort of signs
on our path or confirmation.
Signs. Every time our heart expands and we feel happy about it, then we follow that.
Yes.
But we don't really know what the huge picture is. No. But it's our
I think it's also good.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we don't know the whole. But I also love, you're also about your body. Like your body also needs to, like in a lot of spiritual practices, it goes about meditation and being in these higher states, but it's also about being in our physical body and listening to our heart, listening to the signals of our physical body that gets excited or that gets contracted, because that's such a powerful guiding system we have. But it's again tuning into the wisdom of our body and of our emotions. And
our body has its own consciousness.
And
so our emotions can get trapped when we don't release them, and then our body stiffens up and contracts. And and if we don't listen to that, then we keep on living from the mind, then we get sick, because everything that gets suppressed finds a way of evolving to the surface.
But also for people tuning into this, what I hear with clients a lot is like they want to be able to hear their inner guidance. They want to be able to channel, to be this channel of higher wisdom, and everyone can do that. But my advice, as you are sharing this, it pops in. First, start by listening and discovering the signals of your body, because your body is a consciousness. Your body is a channel that is sharing messages with you. So do you feel contracted or expanded? That is already a message of the divine, of your higher self, sharing with you if a thing is aligned. We are sometimes so searching for, okay, I want to hear a clear voice. This is what you need to do. But your body is already giving you the signals, and it's tuning into that while you ask questions or while you are busy with things. And also to come back to that phase where we might feel different. I also have that, like it was hard to step out of the norm, to step out of the groups, and to have moments where you are on your own. But the more you do that, the more you discover who you are, and the more you attract people that are in alignment with you. But I think it's a beautiful question to ask yourself, like what is worse, losing yourself or losing someone else? And in those moments where you are conforming to the norm, where you are in groups, do you really feel joyful, or does it take your energy away? And is it that really worth it? And it doesn't matter if you say yes but it's tuning in again. Like I also in my own life, we sometimes need to repeat certain cycles until we finally feel now it's done and I'm going to do something different. And it's also honoring that process. But it's coming back to the question, is this truly fulfilling me? Is this truly bringing me somewhere, or am I repeating cycles? And And is that worth it? Because if you're tuning into this, you also have a bigger mission. You're also here to create something new, and just letting everything stay the same, it doesn't fulfill. And each time, indeed, we set higher goals, we set bigger visions, so we need to stretch. But it's also the most rewarding thing than just letting everything stay the same and staying in your comfort zone. And yeah, so I think that is also a nuanced difference that we need to feel within ourselves. Like, is it okay?
And I think also, just to add on to that, we need to be honest, really honest. And that can be really hard because it confronts us with ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask yourself honestly, am I really happy? Well, no. But I don't want to say this, because if I say this, it means change. And oh boy, I don't want change, because then I have to get out of my comfort zone. And nope. So I'll stay to my shell, I'll stay stuck on my shell and just keep on doing what I've been doing because it's familiar. And life is okay.
Yeah.
But our message is life doesn't have to be mediocre.
No,
life is supposed to be amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Life is supposed to be thriving and joyful and abundant and because it's driven by love and not by fear and not by doubt and not by negativity. Yeah. And that's what we're breaking out of. And that's why you and I are here to help people to see what's possible when you align with your soul, and even, create soul aligned businesses, because that's also one of my passions, that I help high frequency women to reconnect with themselves so they can create businesses from their soul instead of from their mind. Yeah, that's such important, especially in this time. But the earth needs more conscious business and leading from the heart and leading from a total different space than, because that's what I also notice when we do that, we create businesses that are in alignment with everything, that are contribute in a larger space instead of are only focused on certain areas of life. Yesterday I did a Facebook Live talking about ego-centered consciousness and heart-based consciousness. And in heart-based consciousness, it's all about the whole. It's all about serving the higher good and us finding our place within the whole. Yes. And so when we have soul-aligned businesses, as you say, it's in harmony with us. And it's in harmony with the world. So there's no exploitation, there's no child labor, there's no obviously you need to have a profitable, I don't know if that's the right word, but a thriving business, but not at the cost of others, right? And not just for profit, because that's not going to work. That's the old way of doing. Yeah, because the essence is fulfillment and serving and contributing to something larger than, because in the end that is also what will give the most fulfillment in ourselves, because then we are on mission. We are here to contribute in our own unique way. Yes. Yeah. And the key word is contributing. Yes. Because we receive more when we give from our hearts than when we take. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Just like when we give a present or with kindness or whatever, everything that's just given is like, oh, that feels really good. And when we take, it's gratification. There's nothing wrong with taking, but it has to be balanced. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's not just for me. Energy. Yeah, exactly. And not hurt anybody else. And at the moment, we're still in that very old paradigm, shifting towards the new one. Yeah. But that's still very prevalent because the world is at war. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it is in everything we do. It's already just being with the question in every conversation, in every interaction, in every, how can I contribute, or how can I in my own way? Because I think by us standing in our light, by us standing in our truth, by us standing in our uniqueness, we can be the contribution that can shift things on earth and that can change, instead of us operating from lack and instead of us operating from the mind. Or that is where a true shift, when we stand in the field of love, magical things start to happen, not only for ourselves, but also for the people that connect with us. And but it's a whole different mindset instead of, because it's also awakening the divine feminine. It is stepping into this uncharted territory where we
where we don't have the manual or we don't have the book out. We need to discover the manual within ourselves, our body, our emotions, our system.
Our heart is our compass.
Yeah, that is. And that is totally different than also what we have been taught at school and while growing up. It was this was the compass, no, not. And that is it's redefining every part of our being, redefining our lives in a new way, and our businesses and our missions. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, when we talk about missions, it doesn't have to be this huge mission to change the world. It can be very small.
Yeah.
But you acting from your light changes the frequency of the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe passion is better than mission, because it doesn't have to be like a big business or something.
Exactly. Everything you do with love, Jesus is the teacher of righteousness, and righteousness is applying energy in the right way.
Yeah.
And so when we apply love to everything, that's when we're in harmony. That's the balance. That's the utopian vision.
It is, yeah.
But paradise.
But what we also need to again, love comes in that place. We need to be in this space where we love ourselves, so that we can receive and we can be in this co-creation, in this harmony. Because that's an important key as well, because we've so been taught to overgive and to constantly and because when you truly have a soul-aligned business, it nourishes you on every part of your being. Yes, it stretches you, but it nourishes you, it fulfills you, and it creates a whole different energy field than when you are in this mind space.
It operates on a deeper level, and as you said, there's no manual for it. No. So you have to follow your soul, sort of the flow that's created from following your soul, and perhaps not following normal marketing techniques, but doing stuff that you enjoy, so that you create joy, and from that joy you have inspiration.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And that's the key factor. And obviously we need the masculine energy as well, right? Because then we don't manifest. It's a balance again, but it's not only the masculine, it's absolutely working together with the feminine. And that's based on trust and cooperation and intuition.
It is, yeah. And that's such a powerful force, but it's us being receptive to receive the inspiration, being in our divine feminine, to then co-create with the masculine to bring things into form. And that's such a, but it's a whole new dimension. Again, this is pioneering. This is creating, like, it's not that you can ask anyone on the street for these things, because a lot of people are not in this awareness or are not busy with these concepts. So it's truly like, yes, when we are in these circles, also my friends now and my soul sisters, and they all are on a similar journey. But if you look around you in the rest of the world, a lot of people, there's still a lot of win to gain there. So it's also sometimes we can feel like, oh, what do I have to contribute? And then it's stepping in your power, stepping in your light, that you're already aware you have a choice. You're already aware of the power of love. You already know there's more to life than our physical reality. And that is huge, because a lot of people aren't aware of that yet. So already you have so much to give by just also being present, sharing your light, saying hi to a stranger on the street, knowing that you're influencing the field with that. If you smile to someone you don't know, that already creates a ripple of love. That's
opening the heart.
Yeah, it is. You can already bring change by just loving yourself, and in that space, go into the world and with compassion, be with others, but also with compassion, be with yourself, because I think that's also an important key, like the self-compassion, stopping the inner judgment, stopping the inner blame, shame, all that. And that is an ongoing journey, because each time we stretch, a new or an old thing is being triggered. But that's beautiful, because we become more pure. We create a more cohesive field for.
And the more compassionate we are with ourselves, the more compassionate we can be with others.
Yes.
Because that's how it works. Can we see them as a soul on a journey, going on their path, not judging them for their path, and accepting them exactly where they are?
Yes, it is. Yeah. And that's an important key. Yeah. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
the world around us is a reflection, and it's us choosing to embrace, because we are all connected. So if I love you, it also means love for me, and in that way, if we can love everyone, just
Exactly.
like, yeah, that's
It's that unity consciousness that we're all
yes,
trying to go back to. The point you made about, with business, that they're not being a manual. I don't think there is a manual for a soul aligned business, because
no.
we are all coded differently. We all have a different blueprint. So what works for you doesn't necessarily work for me. So the time of, the 3 golden keys to creating a $6 million business.
Yes.
That's illusion.
Yeah.
That's true. And it might be that works for certain entrepreneurs, yes, but it's not the way to create a business in this new paradigm.
No.
And
Because again, it's from the
is
mind.
through the soul. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's important that people, that's why it's also important to honor the soul, because your soul is you are expressing yourself through your soul. Your voice is coming through your soul.
Yeah.
And if it's not aligned with who you are, your business, it's not going to work. No. Because the intention isn't pure, perhaps, or, there's something in your field which is obstructing the flow of energy.
Yeah.
So it's important to look at those things when you're creating your soul aligned business, because everything that's inside of you shows up in your business, because your business is an extension of you.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah. And where before we could do a lot of with force, and we still can, but the energy of Earth is changing so rapidly that it will create friction in your field. It will create like things that are not flowing, or that's true. But it's all an invitation to look at ourselves. It's all an invitation to, because if you look at what is the meaning of life and just tune in with yourself, is that truly like these 3 steps that create a $6 million business, or is it contributing in a different way that is uniquely to you, that nurtures every part of your life, that is not only good for the money income stream, but also good for your family, good for your health, good for your freedom? Because a lot of us, we're also looking for more freedom. And that is when we create from this new paradigm, our focus is not only the money side or the abundance, it's abundance in all areas of our lives. And it is having the time to be in meditation, to be in connection, to be in nature, to be with friends, because those are also important components of life. It is again the totality of our being. And that is a whole different
the beingness we talked about last time.
That is, yes,
the beingness. And I love what you say about nourishing every part of you. That is the essence. That you have a business that nourishes every part of you, and that doesn't deplete you, and where you don't have time for your family, and where you're just rushing around and doing and are not in a state of beingness. I mean, I find myself often when I go off in my mind, it's like, okay, what do I need to do today? Oh no, then I switch and think, oh, what do I feel like doing today?
Yes.
What's my heart telling me to do? Oh, go for a run, go outside, enjoy nature. Where your mind would say, no, you have that newsletter to write. You need to do this.
Yes.
Or the heart saying, no, I just want to be in nature. And then once you come back, like, oh, I'm going to do it differently, or something pops in. Usually when I go running, something pops in.
Yeah, and when that's what I notice, when it comes from this divine alignment, this inner inspiration, the divine feminine, things go rapidly. And I also notice when I take moments of rest, or listen to just going outside in nature or doing something fun, beautiful things come on my path, because I stop resisting. Again, a lot of the time the mind creates resistance in our field, and for receiving in all forms, because receiving inspiration is also receiving downloads and connecting. So when we allow ourselves to follow the flow of the day, of the energy, we open ourselves up to even more things to receive. But it's us choosing to be in the openness instead of the contraction. And we all have these moments where we go into our mind, of course, but then again, it's having the awareness to take ourselves back to our body, and not judging that we are in our mind, because that is just a natural process of life. It's again with softness, saying, okay, I'm now going to let my heart lead again. Thank you.
And that's hard too. not to judge your mind. Damn it, I
No.
did it again. And
no, that.
yeah.
That's so
but
important.
we're human, right?
Yeah,
That's our humanness. And that's why we came on earth, to experience our humanness, to experience our emotions and everything that goes with earth. Because up there are no emotions.
No.
It just is.
Yes, it's just embracing totality.
And
if there's one thing you want to share still with the listeners, like an advice or a tip or a beautiful saying, what would that be?
Actually, this morning I drew a card. I have this beautiful card deck of the divine feminine, which I can absolutely recommend. I drew Fatima.
Oh, the mother
and she says, love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion.
Beautiful. Yes. A beautiful one to close with. Yes.
A beautiful one to close with. And I don't need to say anything else, because that just says it all.
It is. Yeah. Thank you.
That just says it all. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your magic and your wisdom. And if you want to work with Eveline, you can find her information below this video or audio. And I'm excited about our co-creation day in April. And if you want to have a physical day of magic with us, Teachings of the Heart in the Netherlands, feel free to share or to connect with us. So we're excited about the next step. So it's beautiful to also have that dimension in our teachings and co-creating with you in different ways. So thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely day.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next Soul Love podcast. Much love. Thank you for joining this episode of Soul Love. If you want to find out more about what we do, you can find it below. And I'll see you in the next episode. Much love.